What's going on, guys? Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day wherever you are, as always, right? So the topic for today is going to be 2 stocks you're gonna want to have on your 2022 watch list, right? So yeah, those 2 stocks are going to be Valentia Technologies and also Crowdstrike stock, right? So stick with me till the very end because this is just going to be a 5-minute overview, right? You're still going to have to do your own research and you're still going to have to make your own decisions, right? So as always, this is not financial advice. I'm just some random dude on the internet, right? So do your own research before making your own decisions, right? So let's just get into it. So Valentia Technologies, what does this company do? So according to Warren Buffett and Peter Lynch, if you understand the company, you'll be able to explain it in 5 minutes to a 10-year-old, right? So I'm not gonna even try to say that I understand like exactly what they do, but I understand their business model, right? And this is the key distinction people fail to recognize, right? So as Warren Buffett says, you need to understand the economics of the business, not really how to run the day-to-day operation. So I have no idea how they run the day-to-day operation. I have no idea how their code is written and all, but I understand how the economics of their business, right? So basically, in simple terms, they sell software. But what makes this software so powerful, right? So basically, it's a big data analytics firm. And basically, they have these softwares that you can put your data into, like let's say your corporation. So important distinction to note that this is a B2B company as well as Crowdstrike, right? So you're probably never going to use these companies, right? So your company might use these companies, but you personally probably not, right? Because the costs are too high, right? So yeah, what do? They sell data analytics software, right? Basically. So, and what does this data analytics software help you do? Just an example would be an airline company. They would need to monitor like their airplanes, right? So airplanes can fly with one basically, what do you call that, engine only, right? So if you can tell that your right side engine is overheating, so you maybe you can lower it down and you can use the left side engine, and basically that will save you a lot of money, right? Because if it overheats and basically needs a lot of service and needs a lot of repair, let's say it costs you $50,000, it can easily cost that, right? So yeah, that's basically just an example of what Palantir software can help you do, right? Obviously, it can do much more, right? So why do I think Palantir has a really bright future, right? So first of all, the moat is enormously big, right? Like first of all, their software, no one even has close to what their software can do, according to their customers and all. So obviously, I don't use their software, but I've read a lot about their customers' reviews and everything, and it seems very good, right? So number 2 is obviously their management. So you can see there's Peter Thiel and didn't mean to click that. So there's Peter Thiel and Alex Karp in here, and obviously these are revolutionary men, right? I'm sure the rest are really smart as well. So Stephen Cohen, really smart guy as well, right? But I know Peter Thiel and Alex Karp better, right? Because obviously Alex Karp is the CEO. He makes more appearances, and also Peter Thiel. I've been interested in this guy's life since like 2015, right? So yeah, I think their management is very strong. Their product is like out of the park, and third of all, their business model is very sticky, right? Because they basically what they do is they take all your data in, right? And imagine if you're a company with like 3-4 years of data, right? Or even 10 years of data, right? So if you want to switch it to another company, you have to go through all that onboarding costs again, right? Which most companies will not want to do, right? So yeah, those are 3 huge modes for Palantir. So let's look at the discounted cash flow model, right? So you can see that cash flow from adjusted free cash flow is 320 million. And basically, I have put 450 million, so 0.45 billion, right? And the growth rates, they have said that they want to grow at 30% for the next 5 years, but I think they're just sandbagging their expectations, right? So I put 32% for growth rate for normal case, 40% for really good case, and 28% for a bad case, right? So I use a 20% discount model. That's why you can see that the price, basically my price targets are very low, right? And the reason I use a 20% discount rate is because I feel like I'll get a lot of things wrong. So even if I get a lot of things wrong, if I have a 20% discount rate, I'll still be able to make money, right? So don't even think about if I get it right. Let's say if I'm spot on, or if I've even underestimated, yeah, I'm going to the moon, right? So basically, what my discounted cash flow model says is I should buy this below a 25.73 billion market cap. So you can see that at this point, Palantir is $37 billion. So am I saying that Palantir is going to drop another, I don't know, like almost 50%? So obviously not, 40%. So obviously not. If you just change this discounted cash flow model discount rate to 10%, right? So if you only expect a 10% return, suddenly you get a $59 billion market cap, right? So yeah, that's the difference between like 20% discount rate and 10% discount rate, right? So I always like to use a very high discount rate because, again, I think I'm very failable, right? And I think anyone that tries to value stocks, right, they should use a very high barrier to entry, right? So even if you're wrong on a lot of things, you can still make a lot of money, right? So how did I get the 450 million adjusted free cash flow? So it's 320 million for the first 3 quarters, right? So I can say that 450 million is, I think, very achievable, very easy to achieve, right? So if you do enjoy the video up to this point, do help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe if you want more videos, and hit the bell button, right? So really appreciate the support. It allows me to continue making videos, right? So yeah, let's get on to the next stock. So the next stock is Crowdstrike, right? And Crowdstrike basically, in simple terms, they also sell software as a service. They are also a B2B business model. So I've been looking at a lot of B2B business models because they are the ones that have been growing very fast, right? But I also am very interested to go and look back at a lot of B2C models, right? Because consumers, at the end of the day, if you have 1 billion consumers versus you have just 1 million corporations that pay you, let's say even they pay you the same amount, the person with 1 billion customers has a bigger network effect, right? So that's also a huge moat. So yeah, what does Crowdstrike do? Basically, they are a cyber security firm. And the interesting thing about their software is adaptive, right? Rather than last time when you have a cybersecurity software, let's say it can identify that this is an aircon remote, but it cannot, let's say if you turn it around or something like that, it can no longer identify that it's an aircon remote, or even if you switch the buttons to different places, right? So basically, it doesn't have one singular approach to something, right? So if software comes into your computer and basically it's like, why is this file that is not supposed to be trying to gain access, constantly trying to gain access to your computer, then Crowdstrike will go and scan it and things like that, right? So yeah, that's also about what Crowdstrike does. So what are Crowdstrike's modes? I don't really know that much about the management. So I really can't tell you that much about the management, but according to all my research that I've done, they are one of the best cybersecurity firms out there, right? So there's obviously SentinelOne and all that, but I think this is one of the few that are free cash flow positive. So I only know how to value free cash flow positive stocks. So negative free cash flow stocks are much harder to value, right? Basically. So yeah, let's get into the valuation, right? So we can see that they have $1.2 billion in revenue, 1.3 billion. So 411 million in free cash flow. So about the same free cash flow as Palantir, right? So, but you can see that their growth rates are considerably higher. Jesus, my English. So I need to change this. So yeah, they have 411 million free cash flow. So you can see that their free cash flow is about the same as Palantir, but when you look at the growth rates, it's considerably higher than Palantir's, right? So to actually offset the higher growth rate, I put a lower terminal multiple, right? Just to be conservative, right? Because I'm afraid I really overvalue this company, right? But you can see that according to my discounted cash flow model, it's worth about 37.29 billion, right? So I just updated it just now, so I forgot to change this. Sorry about that. But yeah, basically I'm going to use a 50% growth rate and a 60% growth rate, right? So if you know about 50 or 60% growth rate, you won't have this kind of terminal multiples because you have maybe I think maybe a 40 or 50 or even 60 terminal multiple, right? But I think I'm going to get a lot of the assumptions wrong because you can see that my growth rate for the next 5 years is 50%, and the next 10 years is basically 25%, right? Versus something like just now Palantir, right, which I'm more familiar with, right? You can see that my variance is very small because I'm quite sure about the business, right? And their business is quite predictable, right? Compared to Crowdstrike, which is less predictable. That's why you can see that the variances are huge. So I use a lower terminal multiple. So yeah, we come up to about a $37.29 billion dollar valuation, which is also lower than the current price on the market, right? But as you can see, it's barely lower, right, compared to Palantir. And again, am I saying that it will drop to 37 billion and I'm going to be able to buy it? No, it's just a model, and if it goes into my model's strike range, basically, I'll buy it, right? So yeah, those are the two stocks that I wanted to share today, and maybe you want to consider putting it on your watch list or doing some research about it. So that's about all I wanted to share today. If you did enjoy the video, do help me smash up the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell button, and with that being said, have a fantastic day and peace out.